Shalom. This week's Sedra is Sedra Devarim. In order to explain the Sedra properly and give a great idea on it, I'd like to tell you the story about Yochanan, who lives here in Mitzvah Yericho. Yochanan sat outside of Mitzvah Yericho's central shul, the Merkazi. The view in front of him was stunning. With the Dead Sea glimmering in the near distance, he opened his Chumash and studied this week's Torah Parsha. In this week's Sedra, Moshe recalls his trouble in dealing with the Jewish people. At one point, completely exhausted, he exclaimed, "How can I bear your trouble, your burden, and your strife all by myself?" Yochanan wondered what Moshe was saying about the Jewish people. In his commentary to this pasuk, Rashi explained the three terms, your trouble, your burden, and your strife. The phrase your trouble refers to the Jews as troublesome. They would have a case where a plaintiff saw that he was about to lose the case, and he would say, "Oh, I have one more witness to bring." And he would exercise his right to add judges, essentially extending the case till people just lost their patience. Your burden shows that the Jews were heretics in their skepticism of Moshe's leadership. If Moshe was leaving his tent, in essence his office, early, they would say, "Why is he leaving so early today? Perhaps he's not inside his own house." Right? And if he left late, they would say, "Why does he leave? What do you think? He's probably sitting and devising evil schemes against the Jewish people and is sticking up plots against you." And Rashi explained that your strife shows that the Jews were contentious people. Moshe continued to describe the process in this week's Sedra of appointing judges. As we find written in this week's Sedra, and excuse me for reading, "Prepare for yourself wise and understanding men, known among the people, and I will make them heads over you." In his commentary, Rashi explained the three terms mentioned in this pasuk that describes the judges: wise, understanding men, and well known among the people. Wise men who are people who are cunningly wise, and meaning that they can perceive a trick and see past it. Men of understanding were men who can derive one thing from another, and men who were well known among your tribes were people who essentially were popular and well liked, and everyone knew who they were. As he looked out at the Dead Sea, Yochanan realized that there was a parallelism in these two psukim. The three qualities Moshe looked for in a judge were the exact qualities that would address the trouble Moshe ran up against when dealing with the Jewish people. Not only would the addition of judges to the bench lighten Moshe's load as the sole judge, but the qualities these judges possessed would lighten his stress in dealing with the people. A cunning person would know how to preempt the troublemaker who looks to use the system against itself. The understanding man, who is one who can learn one thing from another, would know how to get around people skeptical of Moshe's authority. And a well-known man would use his popularity to stave off strife. In our own life, Yochanan realized, the ability to preempt problems instead of dealing with them in a reactionary way is an essential fact to perfecting oneself and to ensuring a minimization of one's problems. It's an important lesson that Yochanan realized, and here from Mitzvah Yericho, it's a lesson that we can all learn. Shabbat Shalom.